All right, guys, what's going on? Three Sons RC back at it again. Let me open up the chat here. I don't see anybody on yet. What's up, Bars? What's up, Kurt's RC? Yes, we are live. It's been a while. Let me fix this camera. Appreciate y'all hopping on. Bars, you must be tired of these lives, man. You were just on a second ago. Can you guys hear me well? How's the audio, video quality? Let me know, because I haven't done one of these in a long, long time. I also got all the kids literally on the other side of this wall playing Super Smash Brothers. I got 5 kids. And if you know anything about Super Smash Brothers, it's a blast. And with all my kids, it's just screaming. So you're going to hear them screaming between us talking. Hey, Kurt, I live in Augusta, Georgia. So that is my hometown. So my huge audience of people enjoying my channel right now. No, I'm just joking. I appreciate you guys getting on. Hopefully some other people will hop on here in a second. I'm literally not going to wait for them because I'm just going live just for the hell of it. I got some shoe going to do, some little shop stuff to do, but I just kind of wanted to talk to y'all, see what's going on in the industry, kind of talk about some stuff, leave it open to questions. So y'all want to ask whatever of myself or Bars or whoever else is in the chat. We could talk and chat about the RC community, about RC, whatever questions while I do some shoe gooing. I do have the self-proclaimed best shoe goo video on the internet, and it's actually a pretty dang good one. But you know, there's other good ones out there. I tried to condense it down, and so I'm going to be employing those advanced techniques here with this really nice new shoe goo gun. You can tell this thing is really the best quality shoe goo gun you could buy. I try to keep my shoe goo guns really clean, you know, free of all this debris, and you know, just got to keep it safe, and you know, play with it around kids because it's a fun gift for 2- and 3-year-olds to play with. I'm just kidding. Don't do any of that. Yeah, whatever. Sarcasm is kind of my game. I'm from New York, so it comes with it. So let me get something to put the shoe goo gun on, and I'm going to grab my stuff, got my tape. Now, if you're going to shoe goo anything, there's 2 different types of shoe goo, or fibba tape, or fiber tape, or whatever the heck you call this stuff. You have the dense stuff, and it's tighter together, and then you have the other stuff, which is kind of more spread out. I don't like to use this stuff because it really doesn't do a whole lot. I like to use the kind that, you see, it's just it's a much tighter, let me see how close I can get. It's a much tighter pattern. It sticks a little bit better, plus there's just more fiber to the actual tape as fibba tape or fiber tape or whatever the heck this stuff's called. So I like to use that type of stuff, and I just realized I don't have any scissors. I'm awesome for being prepared like that because I didn't really plan on doing this, but I haven't talked to y'all for a long time, and I'm not going to use a razor blade for it because I'll probably cut myself. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. Let me see if you have any questions real quick. Okay, how about the XRT chassis? Yeah, so about that. Looks to be an X-Maxx chassis. I really thought they would have kind of beefed it up a little bit more with the bulkheads. My boy Thunder RC had a really good Bucky. He had a really good bash with it. Didn't land bad though. He was sending it to the moon like he always does off the death ramp, and it looked to be performing really good. And then Aldo just he's gonna have a video coming out here pretty soon, and well, I don't want to steal his thunder, but it didn't last too long. He already put a community post on there. Seems to be a nice truck. It's a lot like the X-Maxx. It's gonna need a couple little things. It's gonna be, I think, a great truck for medium bashing, lighter bashing. But when you're going top speed off of stuff, you land wrong. With the Traxxas stuff, you tend to break more. This is not an insult because you land sideways with either one of them. You could break stuff, whether it's Armor versus Traxxas, but you tend to break more chassis and bulkheads, and it's not costly. It's just a pain in the butt to fix. But you have an M2 CFI Arma 8S rig, and you tend to break an arm, break a turnbuckle. That's about all you're going to break, unless you run into a boulder like my boy Rich. That'll break everything. Or you run into a curb at 60 miles per hour. All bets are off, right? But yeah, I think it's going to be a great rig. It seems to perform really well. I think just M2C needs to get a hold of it and kind of tweak a couple things. But that's with anything. Any heavy bashing, stock is not going to handle it. That's just the way it is. Yeah, what's up, Harold? Appreciate you hopping on. And I appreciate you taking some time out of the NFL because I was watching my Jets, hopefully beating the Bills today. I don't know. They were, I think, winning last time I checked. Both my New York teams doing good. What's up with that? They both usually suck. Giants have sucked for such a long time. I didn't expect anything out of them this year, and somehow they're 6-2. Pretty cool. But my Chiefs, I lived there for 8 years, so I'm actually a Chiefs fan. I believe, and put a comment down there, I know this is not RC related, I think you should live in a city for more than 8 years before you can be a fan of that team. Now, some people are fans of cities that they don't live in, and that's fine too. I tend to just be fans of teams that I have lived in those cities. So I believe you have to live in a city for more than 5 years, then you can be a fan of that team. It is what it is. I've been in Kansas City. I was in Kansas City for 8 years. I did photography on the sideline for the Chiefs games and stuff like that. And I was a fan of theirs when they sucked terribly, and now they're quite good. Steve Smith came in with Reeves. No, what's his? Yeah, their coach. I'm forgetting his name now. You can see how big of a fan I am. And then they started doing well, and then they got rid of Steve Smith, and I was like, they're gonna suck probably. Well, they had Mahomes, so they're all right. All right. Be careful out there, Bars. Okay, so it looks like Trevor's stopping him over so he can't stay. But have a good time, buddy. Yeah, hey, appreciate you stopping by, Bars. Hey, if you leave, that's like half of the people in this chat, Bars. You can't do that to me, bro. How many people we got on? I got 1 thumbs up. I don't know if I can see how many people are actually on. I'm new to this live thing. Oh, 7 watching. Hey, there's 7 of y'all. Hey, appreciate it, guys. I mean that. Yeah, that's a big deal. Okay, so give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves while I go grab the scissors, because I need to be able to cut my fibba tape while I do my shoe goo, and we can chat away, and I'll read your questions and answer any kind of stuff. Give me 2 seconds. If you hear some kids yelling in the background, they're playing some Mario Kart and some Super Bash Brothers, so they'll be screaming. So give me 2 seconds. Be right back. There's another pair somewhere in the garage. Okay, I'm live right now, just so you know. What? I'm live. Where's the other pair? I just need either pair. The good pair was out here. No, the other one is. And then the blue one's fine too. Either set of scissors work. All right, Harold. Harold says, man, you do great videos, but the one on M2C headquarters for me, that was awesome. Cool, man. I appreciate that. I enjoy the interview stuff. Not a lot of people do that in RC, and that was fun for me. I was visiting. I thought I would ask them a bunch of questions. I have one coming up with RC Dude 81, Eric. So I did a quick, short interview with him. What's the camera doing? Why is the camera jumping in and out? Are you guys seeing that?
Yeah, it's jumping. It's because you're getting a phone call.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call? My phone's vibrating, that's why. Okay, we're going to decline that. That would explain why my phone was going crazy. So it stopped. Now I know when I get a phone call, it vibrates. So, cool. I got scissors. My boy Luke brought those in for me. And yeah, so I got a video coming up with RC Dude 81 where I interview him for literally just about 5 minutes, and I have the third part of that bash coming up. We have just a couple little clips. I'm probably going to intermix the bash with the interview. I mean, that's kind of weird, but I do weird videos like that sometimes. What do y'all think about that? Bash, then interview, sending, then questions with some cool animations and editing that I like to do. You think that's a good idea? Or you think I should separate it? Just have a short 5-minute interview, 3-minute interview, and then the bashing. I don't know. I thought both of them might be pretty good because I don't have a lot of footage for bashing with that segment. So might be like an 8-minute video of the bashing and the interview combined. What do you think? No comments? Yeah, it's raining over here in Georgia as well. I was going to go bashing today. I was going to take this guy out. This is the Hyper MTX from Habao. This thing looks to be a beast. I really like the MT Plus 2. And so I was going to take this out for the first day. I have it all set up. And it's raining. It rained yesterday, so that screwed me up. So that sucks. I want to test that buddy out because those are fun rigs. So you think, man, if you do the interviews with the bashers out there, that'll be great. Yeah, so I guess my question, Harold, and anybody else can chime in. I wanted to combine the bashing in the video with the interview and kind of go back and forth between bashing and interviews. I don't know. Do you think I should combine it or do 2 separate videos? I don't have a lot of footage to do both. So put a vote in there for if I should combine the interview with Eric with the bashing or just do the interview part. Let me know what y'all think. Let me get some. Gotta get some glue for my glue gun. Now that's a long one. What'd I just say? I mean about the shoe goo, about the glue gun stick. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about the long stick for the glue gun. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They're not all the same length, you know? That was pretty stupid. All right. Yeah, that'd be different. I'm in for those. Yeah, okay. I'll combine both of them into one. Yeah, I don't have too many bashers that I know of that are in my area. I mean, there's other bashers out here, but I don't communicate with them a whole lot in terms of guys that I kind of know through the forums and stuff. Eric, RC Dude 81 is the only one that's close to me. He's about 2 hours north in Greenville, and I go up there occasionally. And he's going to come down here pretty soon. We were going to try to have him come down before it gets too cold. So we need to do that soon if we're going to. But yeah, I'm getting another phone call, I think, from my wife. That's why my phone's vibrating. Give me 1 second. I got to tell her that I'm live. Let me know when mommy's people get here. All right, I'm back. How about JT? I don't know anything about JT. I know he has one of those rigs. I think I saw it in a thumbnail. What are your comments on that? What exactly are you asking there, bud? So when I kind of start doing shoe goo, I'll take like a bunch of strips, I'll put it on the bench about the right length that I need, and I'll kind of stage them all up. Tricky thing is if you lose the end of this thing. And guys, it's Sunday, can be kind of busy around here. So stuff happens, and my wife is actually ill. She just got out of the hospital. She had strep throat, and she got sepsis. So I've literally been taking care of all 5 of the kids and her for the past, like, 4 or 5 days. And I'm not gonna lie, this week is probably been one of the hardest weeks I've had in my life. I had some tough news when it came to my job, and then the wife getting sick, and just life is real. I mean, RC is like whatever, it's a hobby, it's fun, but yeah, this week was really rough, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I don't mean to bring guys down, but it was a rough week. But anyway, we got some people coming by bringing us some meals from the church, and that's really cool. Because they know my wife's, she's the one who knows how to cook. I have no idea how to cook. And I'm thankful for the church family that we got. They're a real blessing. You know, they're just helping us out, you know, when we need it. You know, so that's pretty dang cool. She is home now from the hospital, if you're asking. Nobody's asked yet, but she is home now from the hospital. And but she's in the bed, and we have some people coming by with some dinner for tonight. So when they come by, I'm gonna have to take a break. Please forgive me for like 2 minutes. I'll step out, but I'll come back if you guys want to hang out or you want to bounce. I get it. That's cool. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that is life, and we are people in the RC industry. And sometimes, you know, we forget that. We get online and we kind of chime off about certain things. We get all excited about Traxxas versus Arma and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, we're all people that just are blessed to be able to enjoy this hobby in our spare time. But the most important thing in life is family. Yeah, so no comments about that. But Harold, what are you asking about, buddy, when it comes to JT? Because no one's commented about anything but that, and I'm wondering, you said, how about, oh, JT in terms of location. You know what? I don't know where JT is. I think he's over in Atlanta. And I've commented a couple times in his threads, like, hey, I'm in Augusta. Do you want to get together? We bash together. And he hasn't chimed back. So I don't know if he's interested. I'm totally down with that. You know, just because, you know, it'd be nice to get together with another RC buddy, or at least meet him. He's not necessarily a buddy. I'm not going to say he's my buddy. I've never even had a conversation with him. I've commented on a couple of his videos. I think he's commented back, but yeah, I'd be down with that. I think he's over by Atlanta, or I have no clue where he is, to be honest with you. I asked him where he is, and he never commented back. So I'm in Augusta. I'm right in the middle, and I'm totally fine with meeting up wherever. So, I mean, I'll go to Atlanta. He can come here. Whatever, I don't care. So, any questions, guys? If not, I'm going to start shoe-gooing this thing, and I'm going to give some instructions and give you guys some tips, or you can watch the shorter video. It's a lot shorter on how to shoe-goo your body, but I'm going to actually do it here in front of y'all. It's no magic trick, no parlor trick. It's not difficult. There are a couple of tips and techniques that I do think work very well, and this will be not as powerful, not as strong as like a TMT unbreakable body or any of those type of unbreakable bodies. But if you do it right, gosh, maybe like half as strong. If you really go nuts, maybe 3/4 as strong. But what I do like about it is you get the stock look. So you keep that stock look and you keep that on there. So this is the Hyper MT Plus 2 body. And this thing is a beast. And you can see, I love this body. One of the best looking bodies out there. I took that big crazy sticker off the side because I thought it looked a little bit too much. And I put some roof rails on top of here. But the styling of this body, guys, you tell me, is there a better looking RC truck body, period, out there than this? I don't think there is one. Maybe like a C10 body, like the classic C10s. I love how those look. The Outcast body's pretty dang close. I would maybe lean towards the Outcast a little bit over this one. But in terms of a traditional truck, like a more modern truck, gosh, I don't think there's a better looking truck body than this one. But yeah, I shoot good the heck out of this thing. And it's held up pretty strong. It actually, before I shoe glued it started splitting right here. And so I did like 4 sheets of shoe glue and the tape, and shoe glue and the tape, and shoe glue the tape, and shoe glue the tape, and shoe glue the tape like 5 times. And I sealed up. I guess this seam can break when you get a roof landing. This seam right here can break, and I'm boring you guys to death. I'm sorry. All right, so moving along. You guys don't care about this body, but it's pretty dang cool. Shoe glue works. I use it a lot. And basically, you can make it so your stock looking body will last like, I guess about like 3 or 4 or 5 times stronger. Actually, every single body that I've shoe glued, I can still use it today. They're all holding together. But I have enough RCs that it's not like I've bashed that shoe glue body like 30 times, because it's just not the case. Yeah. How about JT? That's the only you guys are so quiet. How many people I got on here? I got 4 thumbs up. I only got 4 watching right now, so that might be why there's no comments. But hey, feel free to talk, ask any kind of questions. But anyway, let's get started on this. So what I do, I've already done this part, is, wait, I do need to get something for my shoe glue, just because I don't like to get it all over the place. I'm going to put it up on this, see if that works, because it kind of tends to drip. And then I'm going to get no, not that mat. Yeah. This mat, I don't mind if I completely screw up. Old bath mats, they come in handy. And I'm going to throw this bath mat right down here. So in case I do make a mess, it makes a mess on that, not my nice wood bench. My wood bench, I try to keep it relatively decent. Some guys just beat the heck out of theirs. I actually stained this one. I built it myself, not a big deal, but I try not to tear it up. It's got a nice little stain to it. What do you think? Look pretty cool? Whatever. Gets a little beat up, but I try to keep it decent for the video, so don't look too bad. Yeah, so I've already taken a cloth with my isopropyl alcohol, wipe this thing off. It's clean. You want it to be free from any type of like finger oils and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to lay down the tape, and as each piece of tape is laid down, I hit it up with the shoe glue gun, and not the shoe glue gun, the glue gun. And what that is for is just kind of to be like a placeholder. So it's kind of like a tack welding. Doop, 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 doop. You just got to knock it up real quick. Knock it up real quick. What did I just say? You try to hit it up real quick to kind of just hold it in place for when the shoe glue comes. You don't want to use it too much because you want the shoe glue to be the primary holder there. But yeah, that's about it. And you guys are just full of questions. Appreciate y'all. No, I do. But yeah, let's get started on this, and maybe some other folks will hop on here. Guys, feel free to ask me any kind of questions about RC, about life, whatever. So I'm going to put it as close as I can to the edge here. And this is a different tape than what I used before. And I don't know how sticky it's going to be. And that's what's super important, is that the tape be somewhat sticky. Because it needs to at least hold it for a minute until you get there with the glue gun. And this stuff is just not very sticky. Not very sticky at all. All right, I gotta take a break, guys. If you guys bounce, I totally get it, but yeah, I'll be back. About 5 minutes. And I'm pretty sure y'all left. All right, looks like there's still 3 of you on. I don't know if you're actively on. If you're not, I'm actually going to disconnect the chat and maybe start it over again, or not. If you guys are totally not interested, that's fine. But there's 3 of you guys on, and if you're actually actively on, just make a comment so I know that that's the case. If not, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect, because I'm assuming nobody wants to hang out and talk RC stuff, which is fine. I'm going to do it anyway. Gonna do some shoe going and some talking. I'll just talk to myself or watch the NFL. So put a comment in there if you care to continue watching, or don't, and I'll do my thing. Appreciate y'all either way. All right, got 3 watching still. So put a comment in the next minute, or I will go ahead. I'll be forced to disconnect. No. Yeah, I don't know if this tape is very good. It doesn't seem to stick very good at all. I've used tape just like this that stuck way better. So, I don't know what's going on with this stuff. Just doesn't have much stickiness to it. I'm in the background editing videos. What's up, Kurt? Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to go say goodbye to my wife's friends that dropped off a bunch of food for us to help us out, and I'll be back in a second. I got this monster, so I'm ready to go. Rehab. These are the best monsters, period. These rehabs. And I'm sponsored by Monster, so that's why I'm saying this. No, I'm not. I would love to be sponsored by Monster. That would be cool. But I tend to just say stuff's good when it's good. If it's crap, it's crap. And so this is a good product. Rehab. They're non-carbonated. My favorite one is the iced tea lemonade. Then they have peach tea. Then they have strawberry lemonade. And they have a watermelon. And they have a raspberry tea, which sucks. But it's a peach tea, and the Arnold Palmer one is by far the best. Check them out. They're non-carbonated, and they're super healthy. They don't have a lot of sugar, and pretty natural, healthy stuff, but whatever. What's up, Kurt? Thought I'd just let you know, Kurt, since you're the only one listening, Kurt. So Kurt, wanted to let you know that Kurt, that this is the best monster. Kurt, appreciate you. Go ahead and check out Kurt's RC, because he's cool enough to hang out with me. Y'all aren't commenting, but lives aren't what they used to be, and YouTube is not what it used to be, especially for the hobby. It is really, this algorithm sucks for hobby stuff. If you're not making shorts like mad, and I do apologize that I do make shorts now, because you wouldn't really have much of a YouTube channel if you didn't do shorts. If you're not actively doing stuff like every day or at least weekly, uploading anything, whether it's a short or regular video, the YouTube algorithm doesn't respect you. And they just put you at the bottom, and all of a sudden, even your own subscribers are not getting your stuff. So I bust the shorts out mostly because I want to at least stay in the good graces of the YouTube algorithm, so that my stuff at least gets out to my own subscribers. That's what I'm hoping for, because I put a lot of time and energy into the edits and the videos and stuff like that, and it sucks when you make a video that takes hours and hours and hours and 150 people watching. I don't do it for the 150 watches. It's really not for that. It's for y'all. And it's just because it's all about the amount of effort that's put into something versus how many people get to enjoy that. And if nobody's watching, then it's like, well, then I might as well just do it for myself. And I really do it for you guys, recording and uploading videos. And my editing style tends to take quite a long time. I don't just take a video that I shot and upload it, and that's cool if you can do that. If I had a backyard like Aldo, I'd be able to do that real easy. Well, I'd probably crash a lot more than he does, to be fair. But yeah, that's why, because if it takes a whole lot of hours to put into the editing and the making of these videos, and then nobody really watches it, we're doing this for the community anyway, and it's really for you guys, not for my own recognition, but that I wanted to at least get out to some of y'all. And so if it's not getting you recognized by the YouTube algorithm because I'm not doing like a triple backflip and kicking something off of somebody's head and it looks really cool and it's got this cool music to it and I say all the right phrases, I'm not doing any of that stuff that is trending and a challenge and is viral YouTube stuff. So yeah, it doesn't get the respect. But that's hobby. So those like Kevin Talbot kind of paved the way, and he gets a ridiculous amount of views on his stuff because he puts out amazing content and he deserves it. And he's way more entertaining than I am. I'm a boring New Yorker, and I have an okay personality, but yeah. Much props to Kevin Talbot. I don't bash on the guy. I think he's friggin' hilarious. So whatever. If you unsub because I like Kevin Talbot, that's fine. There's a lot more other reasons to sub and to not sub for somebody out there. I like filming to help people build or work on their cars. Agreed 100% on that, yeah, Kurt, because if you look at a lot of my videos, especially my stuff where I did a lot of M2C installs, I mean, I started doing those M2C installs before I ever joined the team. So it wasn't about like, hey, they asked me to do it. They never did. I just started doing them and I shared it and they're like, hey, dude, you're great at these. Why don't you join the team? And it just worked out. It was a blessing. But I did it because I wanted to enjoy the journey with other people. And if I'm doing it anyway, I might as well record it. And if I can share some little nuggets of truth and pieces that people find useful and helpful on their RC hobby, because I've screwed some stuff up and I've learned through it and read enough in the forums and Facebook groups and stuff like that. So I share that kind of knowledge, and y'all might chime in on my comments and say, hey, dude, you sucked at that. That was a really dumb way to do it. You could have done it this way, and I learned from y'all. So it is what it is. Yeah, those are good videos for M2C. Yeah, that's kind of what got me going on the install stuff. I started with the crate and install chassis, and then I did the 8S M2C stuff. And honestly, now it's kind of been taken over by Avery. Does a lot of the good installs from M2C. So I was kind of doing it before he came along, and shoot, I don't mind being replaced. Avery does a great job, and he's right at the shop, and it works out, and it's their stuff, so it's all good. Occasionally I might do some installs for M2C. It's mostly because I get beaten to the punch by Avery, so I don't need to because his videos are great. And he beats me to it, so it is what it is. He's full time. He's full time at the shop and can do videos. I'm juggling those 5 kids. So this is definitely a part-time thing for me. It's become more part-time over the past year and a half, I'd say. I don't think y'all have noticed, but I've taken, probably in the past 2 years, I've taken 2 6-month breaks at least where I just didn't even touch RC. I uploaded some videos that I already had over those months, but I literally was not RC and not touching it, stuff like that. Just life priorities, man. Family's way more important than RC. It's a hobby. And I'll share something pretty personal. I would say this, that keeping RC, at least as a hobby, any hobby, if you don't keep it in its box, can really kind of take over. And I found with RC, I'm just too extreme of a personality when I got a hobby, whether it's working on cars, working on this or that, and you guys might kind of relate to this, is that other things can kind of suffer. And so, can you shut the door, Speedy?
You're needed up.
Okay, I'll be out in a second. Our family can kind of suffer if you're focusing on those things too much. So I would say have a light touch on those things. They're fun. They're nice to have. RC's great. I've enjoyed the relationships and the blessings that kind of come with it. But family's always way more important. And if it's too important of a priority, and you're putting too much time and energy into that or into any hobby really, it could kind of hurt your relationships, hurt your marriage, and affect how much time and quality you have with your kids. That's my tip for the day. And I don't know if that was just babbling on about nothing. Hobby is fun, but family is first. Absolutely. Just picked up the Mojave EXB and going to pick up the double nut system. Yeah, you have to. You have to on the Mojave. I have the EXB, and that's all I put on that thing. I have all these M2C parts for it, and I ended up turning those M2C parts into this rig right down here that's not even a Mojave. Hey, pause for a second. I'm needed. I'm going to be right back. So hold on, Kurt. Here it looks like, hey, man, we'll hang out together. It's all cool. I don't really care if there are 18 people watching or me and Kurt hang out. So, Kurt, appreciate you, buddy. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, Kurt. Keep you waiting. All right, so how many people are on now? We got 5 watching. Look out. All right, who's jumped on? Kurt is here. Who hopped on? We only got 5 people, so hey, hop in there. Who are you? How you doing? I really didn't announce to the community that I was going live. That might have helped, but I don't really care if everybody's watching me go live because I'm just going to play with some shoe goo. This tape is really crappy. You know, one guy suggested something like a spray adhesive. Put a light and I'm not taking it. He said spray it down, probably heavy. I was thinking maybe just put a spray adhesive, something just light to make this body sticky so that this sticks to it, and then you can do the shoe glue. So that's like 3 steps. But when you got crappy tape, I like to use this type of tape. But maybe I got a different brand than I usually get because this stuff just is not sticking. And that's kind of the point. It needs to stick, guys. It needs to at least stick for a second until you can get the glue gun on it. And run it down the cracks a little bit. So if you missed the beginning, and we only got 4 watching now, use hot glue. Yes, I use hot glue. This is hot glue. I use this as a placeholder, right? And but sometimes the tape doesn't even stick good enough for you to get to that point. Like this stuff it just needs to stay there for a second, and then I could shoe glue it. We'll see. Maybe it'll start sticking better. Or it could just be that I haven't done this in a bit, and so that could be it. So since you're watching, if anybody's watching this or if you're watching the replay, what I do is I lay down the tape, then kind of do just tap, tap, tap with the shoe glue, with the hot glue, to kind of hold it in place. And then when you come to some edges, you might have to cut it a little bit just to kind of make it wrap. You have some sharp edges. And what I'll do is I'll lay down the whole body first. Yeah, I think this is crappy fibba tape, whatever the heck you call this stuff. It just doesn't have enough stickiness to it. It just comes right up. It doesn't even stick to the body long enough for me to get the shoe gun over there. I mean, this is crap. It's annoying. Sometimes I've found you just got to go further down in the roll and it's stickier down there. Maybe the top layer is not as sticky and it gets stickier as it goes down. I don't know. Because this stuff is just not sticky at all. Actually, it might be getting more sticky. Maybe I was right. Let's find out. Let's lay this piece down the middle. Hey, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the chat. Questions about life, about RC, about the channel, opinions about the new XRT or whatever. All right, Harold said, okay, did you wash the body? Wash. Yes, I did. I used the isopropyl alcohol and wiped it down, and that's what I always do. So maybe it's too clean and it's not sticking. I don't know. Man, You Live, Black Sheep was live. Chief Beasley and Barzantone early. Hope this keeps going. Thanks, Harold. Oh, what's up, Brian? I didn't see you hopped on. Mr. Brian. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, for real. Family is first. Yeah, I know that those guys were doing a chat earlier. I told Bars I was going to hop on. He's like, I just got off. So for those guys who wanted to get into a live, they probably all got on his and nobody's interested in getting on mine, which is fine. I don't care. You can only watch so much live stuff. But this is when I was going to do this stuff, so I figured I'd hop on now. I think this tape is working a little bit better as I get further down. Not going to lie. Seems to be a little bit stickier further down in the roll. So my instincts were not crazy on that. And Harold says, I got a Techno MT410 with 2050 kV and a 17-tooth pinion. You think I should gear up? I don't think so. I think 17 is a good place to start. With that setup, yeah, with a 2050 kV and 17 tooth, that should be pretty firing. I mean, if you want to go crazy, you could do 2021, but then you're going to be talking about heating. It is getting colder, so you're going to be able to get away with just about anything right now without issues. So it's going to be a blast, and it probably won't overheat during the summertime. Yeah, so for wintertime, you could maybe go up to 20 or maybe even higher. Summertime, yeah, you'd be probably lucky to get away with a 17 tooth. I would probably run it with what you got. That seems plenty fast. 17 tooth pinion is fast. Now that is more of like a Creighton type length chassis. So with a longer wheelbase, you can do 17, 18 tooth with a 2050 kV. It's not so necessary on a shorter wheelbase, just because when you start gearing up on like a 19 or 20 tooth pinion on like an Outcast short wheelbase, it's just going to wheelie all day long and you can't even control it. But yeah, that should be pretty good. 17 should be pretty good. And then kind of gear up as you feel necessary. That'd be my humble opinion. I have not bashed a Techno, although I do have one. I do have a Techno that I have not put the electrics in, and I need to. And I also have another one that I haven't built. It's this guy right here. This is my Techno buggy, I think EB410? Yeah, EB410. This is an old one, but man, this thing is plush. Got some M2C parts on there, and then I have another one of these stock. But I do have a bunch of carbon fiber parts, and I just haven't gotten into the buggy thing. I really want to get this out there and play around with it, but obviously this is more like for racing, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a race guy. But this should still be fun. Those I got a lot of respect for those race guys. They're honestly a lot better at controlling their rigs than most of us bashers. For me, myself for sure. If any of y'all started off like that and got into bashing later, that's probably why you're pretty dang good at what you do. Because the throttle control, all that kind of stuff is pretty on point for what those guys do in the arenas. They're just sick with it. I can't control rigs that well. That's why I like to go fast and straight and do some flips. It's a blast for me. It's really approachable. Racing is not as approachable. That's why bashing has taken off so fast, is because you don't have to be as good. That's just the honest truth, guys. to race a truck around a like a truggy or a race buggy or something like that around a track, those guys are way better than any of us. You know, maybe they can't pull off the crazy flips that we can, but in terms of technical driving ability, they're a lot better for sure. Anybody that competitively does it, even on your local tracks, you know, that are any good at it, that win prizes and stuff, they're usually better controlling this stuff than we are. Most of us, at least. Yeah, I think Eric and Rich they can probably compete with those guys too, though. Thanks for the tip. Harold says also, I'm a pure basher. I'm trash on the track. Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't even keep it in there. I did it once a couple times when I was younger, but cheers. But it's really not my thing. I get adrenaline when I see a car or a rig coming about 50, 60 miles per hour at a ramp and it's shooting over my head and it looks really small because it's pretty dang high. That's what I like. That's why I like bashing. I get that kind of, that elevator feeling in your chest, that little adrenaline. I love that feeling when you're like, oh dang, that's high. I hope I land this. That's the coolest feeling. And I think it's a different type of adrenaline when you're doing the, when you're just doing it for a race. Yeah, this is all crap. I had to go further down to get to the sticky stuff. Yeah, I'm a pure basher too, bro. I don't do boats. Eric likes to do boats. They're probably pretty fun. I just don't do them. Those RC sailors, man. They're really good with planes, though. I'm not gonna lie. They are really freaking good with planes. That's kind of how they got their channel so big is the plane stuff. So I'm not gonna knock them. They put out entertaining content. I'll tell you that. That Bash Mountain, that RC Sailors hits. I don't know if I can handle that Bash Mountain. It's pretty extreme. Oh, I'm so stupid. Don't listen to me. I'm a jerk. Kurt laughs. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks. So I'm just covering the whole inner layer with the tape. And then I do the shoe goo with one big hit. I do it really fast so I don't get too messed up with the fumes in the garage. Which I really don't recommend you doing it anyway. I like bashing in off-road speed. I would like to try my hand at racing on a track. Well, good on you, Brian. Hey. Just stuff. I've just heard this. I haven't seen it myself. I've heard that the crowd and the community at racing is just a little uptight. That the guys aren't as approachable. Every time I go to like a bashing spot and there's a bunch of other guys there, dude, it's like there's no egos. We're just hanging out. Who cares? We're just bashing stuff. We're just talking. Maybe because the competitive nature of racing, everybody's kind of uptight, you know, and it just is what it is. So I think there's a little bit of that going on. So the communities are very different. I feel like the bashing community is very welcoming. I appreciate y'all. You know, I don't hate on the racing community. It is what it is. But y'all tell me. I don't know. I've just heard that. So I have no firsthand experience on the uptightness of a racing community. So y'all can speak to that better than I can. I like speed and bash. 100%. I like going really fast. As fast as I can off the biggest thing I can find. That's my motto. You know, my local hobby shop, RC Madness in Connecticut, the owner, Chris, are in the hobby for 33 years, and that would be a great interview. Yeah, man. Do it up. It's funny. The local hobby shop guy, Dave in Augusta, he's a great guy. He doesn't even RC. He just knows the hobby really well. Hey, it works for him. So, yeah, it'd be cool to hear from a hobby guy who's been doing it for a long time. Yes, very uptight and competitive. Yeah. So yeah, drag racing isn't too bad for that, but it can be. I'd imagine drag racing can be similar, but probably not as bad. Uh, I just don't like. I don't take myself too seriously, so that's probably why I really wouldn't like being around a bunch of serious guys when it comes to playing with toys. I mean, guys, we're playing with toys. You can't take it that seriously. Really, it's not that important. I mean, yeah, it's competitive. You're trying to win, but at the end of the day, you're a 35-year-old man playing with a toy RC at a track. Isn't that what we all kind of did when we were like 16 or 10 or 12? And now you're doing it when you're 35? Hey, guilty as charged, right? I'm doing the same thing, but that's why I don't think you can take it so seriously. You can't be so uptight about it because at the end of the day, we're all big kids playing with toys. So, my 2 cents. Kurt says, I raised my limitless on the track, but we are bashers at heart, and that's why we get along. Yeah, no, 100%. I'd imagine that if you're a bunch of bashers that happen to race as well, then you probably wouldn't be so uptight about it. Because like I said, you don't take yourselves too seriously. This is starting to work out, guys. It wasn't at first. I was getting a little concerned because this tape wasn't sticking at all. I just had to go further down in the roll. So, hey, I learned something today. I kind of learned it before, but I forgot that if it's not sticking very well, just take off a few couple rounds of that fiba tape, fibba tape, and it should start sticking a little bit underneath there. All right. RC bashing on a paved track. You know, that would be fun. You know, that's what I don't have is I don't have a road basher. I'm not a road basher. Eric is hella good at that. Rich too. Those guys are really good at road bashing. I don't even own one, a limitless or anything like that. If anybody sent me one, because honestly, I'm not into buying RCs right now. 5-kid budget and they're just expensive, and I have, to be fair, probably too many RCs. Look at this. Like I think I got like 15 of them. First world problems, right? But I would like to try that type of stuff, but only if someone sends me an RC will I even mess with that. I'm not going to go buy a road basher. It's not my thing right now. And for me to even try something different, it'd only be like if somebody's a sponsor sends me one and then I play with it. And if I break it, I'm going to show it because I always do that. Got to be honest about your reviews, guys. I don't mind sponsoring stuff. But what I don't like is when you sponsor stuff, and this only happens when you get sent these little Amazon special ones or these little Banggood special ones. You know? They're cool. This is a great little truck, actually. But, like, then they'll send you an advertisement saying, hey, we're coming out with this fall sale on this other truck. Can you promote it on your channel? I'm like, I don't even have that rig, bro. Like, how am I going to promote that? I haven't even tried it. That's stupid. I think I actually watched RC Guy Garage said the same thing. And I was like, man, I feel exactly the same way. I don't like when manufacturers, cool, send me stuff and I'll try it out. That's cool. And I'll always be honest about it, especially because I care entirely too much about my audience to give you a biased review. Or an unbiased review. Now I'm confused. But yeah, you got to you gotta actually have the item to test it and to give people opinion. I'm not gonna just send it out there and say, hey guys, go buy this. It's on sale. What if it's a piece of crap? Then me with my audience and my power, I'm telling you all to buy this piece of crap. No, I'm gonna tell you if it is. The infraction is a blast. Oh wait, I skipped one. It would be awesome to do like a motocross race with bashers. You know, there's a motocross track up north of Augusta that I gotta check out. It's probably a lot like what Bars and Tones bashes at. And I just got to go up there because obviously those jumps are going to be way bigger, and that's the kind of stuff I like to find. At a BMX track, I like to shoot off the berm, which those berms are about like 15 feet high or at least 10 feet high. So that's fun. You can get really big off of those, but sometimes the motocross bump jumps are just as high or higher. That's why Bars has some really good sends off those. And so I want to check that out at a motocross track. That'd be super fun. The infraction is a blast. Honestly, if I were to get any road basher, it would be the infraction for sure. I don't care about that rear brake thing. That looks kind of silly. Whatever. Most people that I've talked to that have used it, they don't really use it. But don't ask me to do a third channel thing. Like I can't think that complicated. I'm a simple basher. I can't think with 3 channels. I don't do Amazon anymore. I make them send to me. Yeah. I've never done that. I've had a bunch of people hit me up with Amazon. Oh yeah, buy this RC, we'll reimburse you after the review. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that because then what? If I tell my audience out there that the RC is a piece of crap, you might not give me my money back. So then that might change the way I do the review, and I can't be honest about it. No, there's no strings attached. I've been sent expensive RCs that are like 10 times what those things are worth, and they never ask me to be biased or to be nice or to be ignoring like faults of the truck. They say, be honest, be real, we want to learn. Corrali's been like that, Habau's been like that, and that's why I work with these companies because they say, here's the rig, just bash the heck out of it, and they don't put any pressure on me. And I told them that from the start, like I'm going to be honest, I'm going to send it. If I break it, I'm going to show it, but I'm also going to be realistic about, hey, if I broke it and it's my fault, like, hey, that any rig would have broke there, right? I think there's balance to that too. Like you got to have realistic expectations when you're sending the rig 80 to 120 feet distance, not height, and you wreck or land just 15 degrees off or 30 degrees off, and you hit. I mean, all bets are off. You're going to break something. If it doesn't, that's cool. Some rigs are better at taking that, but you got to own it. If you don't, I think there's too much of that in the RC world where guys will bash the heck out of stuff, and wreck it, and then they're like, oh, this is a piece of crap because it broke. Like, dude, you sent it at a skate park and you landed bad. That's what's going to happen. It's going to break. You take it in its natural habitat, you bash it as it's meant to be bashed, and you land it well, and it breaks. Well, then you could totally complain. But yeah, shooting it into some trees or in a spot where it's not really meant to do, or you screw it up bad enough that it breaks, all bets are off. Even if it's M2Cified, it happens. Let me see. I might have to hit the motocross track with you. Brian, Brian, where are you at? I think you're close to me, right, buddy? Brian, where are you at, bro? I'm trying to remember if you're a local guy. With me here in Augusta. Columbia, yeah, bro, we can meet up. That's not far. It's literally an hour away. That's closer than Eric. Yeah, let's do it. You can come down to Augusta. We'll bash Augusta BMX. You've probably seen that in some of my videos. Or if you know some spots, bro, send me some videos or some pictures up on Facebook. Hit me up there. I think you're a friend of mine on there. So I think we have that chat going. So yeah, hit me up, bro. We'll get together. I like to bash some stuff. And I've never been to that motocross track, so that would be a blast. I don't think my kids are playing Super Smash Brothers on the other side of the wall because they're not screaming anymore. You got 5 kids playing Super Smash Brothers. You can hear them. If you haven't played Super Smash Brothers with your kids, well, maybe you don't have kids. But man, you're missing out. That is just a blast of a game. There's a reason why everybody buys those Nintendo consoles and they outsell the PlayStation and the Xbox by about 2 to 1. Because they make cheap stuff and all the kids love them and they're great games. You guys have any questions? Yeah, Brian, man, we'll hit it up. I'm definitely down to do a little something. I'm not gonna lie, I got together with Eric, and that's my bro, but it was kind of like hanging out with Steph Curry or Michael Jordan. The dude was just draining threes the whole time. Player off the jump. Bam. Lands it. Every time, man. That was a blast, but that dude is that's another level bashing. I'm pretty decent, but he's silly. That dude is silly. Absolutely silly. But him and Rich really paved the way for a lot of us, for sure. I really hope YouTube figures out this algorithm when it comes to hobby stuff, because hobby stuff is really, everybody's been complaining about it. We post up videos and we just don't get the views that we used to get for the same exact type of content. It doesn't even get pushed out to our own subscribers. It's just frustrating. You know? I know that YouTube's trying to become like TikTok, you know? I get that. But there's some content that they're just not pushing anymore. And hobby stuff is one of them. RC is one of them. Because a lot of us don't post video or viral content or stuff as often as enough to be recognized. Hey, what's up, Aldo? Aldo, I am doing a Shugo body. Hold on one second, my son has got a question. What's up, buddy?
Still using the scissors?
I am, 100% the whole time. There is another better pair around here somewhere. Oh, that's the better. Hey, can you trade? Can you use these blue ones?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because those are a little bit better. And I'm cutting something that I really need. These are the best scissors. Aldo, hey buddy, so I'm Shugo in a body, and that's something I can just hang out and talk with y'all. So really I'm just talking about whatever the heck you guys want to talk about. Now King Salami here, he has bashed the new XRT, which is TRX backwards, which I didn't realize till afterwards, which is pretty creative. And yeah, it performed like you think it would. It handles pretty well from what he said, and he broke the heck out of it. Because it's, yeah. Okay, so that's a pretty good glue gun you got. Yeah, this is the best glue gun. Check this thing out. I mean, it comes with these advanced features in glue gunning. All this carpet and mush just gets stuck to the side of it. And this is a nice feature because, you know, it keeps you warm at night. You know, because I don't even know where I'm going with that. That doesn't even make sense. But it's advanced. It doesn't even have a high or low setting. I actually like it when they have a low setting because I tend to use the low setting on that because I don't like it to get too hot. But yeah, you want to keep the glue gun kind of moving pretty quick, and don't do globs of goo on there, because what'll happen is it'll actually melt through, and you'll see it on the other side. You'll see it break through the paint. It'll melt the paint, and it actually melt the Lexan of the body. So you got to keep it moving. Don't keep it sitting there, and don't do big globs of it. King Salami. That's pretty good glue gun. Okay, Fat Line Bulls. Fat Line Bulls. What's up, buddy? I'm getting a Habao Hyper MTX tomorrow. Any advice? Oh, okay, cool. Let's talk about that. All right, you know I got one. I got one right here, actually. I was going to bash it today or yesterday, but it's been raining, which sucks. It's a great rig, man. I love the Habao rigs, and I don't just say that because they send them to me. You know how I'm going to be. I'm going to shoot you straight on it. If it's a piece of crap and it breaks all the time, I'm going to tell you. I probably wouldn't bash it. But, yeah, they sent me the new one, the MTX. And, okay, couple things off the bat. Any advice? Okay, so let's hit pause on this. You're asking the question, buddy, and this is more about advice than anything. What's cool about the new rig is that they actually, the old one, the the Hyper MT Plus 2, it came with grease in the diffs, which for a rig of that size is a complete no-no. So before I ever bashed that rig, I put diff grease in there, and all the turnbuckles were set up kind of incorrectly. They just need to do a slight adjustment on the older one. This one's a lot closer to perfect. What I mean by the turnbuckles being wrong, like it had too much camber, the wheels were kind of tilted in a little bit too much, so you had to adjust this top one. If you notice on these bars, it's got 2 links right here and 2 in the back with the arm. So instead of having 2 arms in the front and 2 arms in the back, they use links instead, which, you know, for better or for worse, it gives you a lot of adjustability for camber and all that kind of stuff. And it makes it super tough because these are some tough turnbuckles. But with the old one, you had to adjust the camber out of it, and it had some toe in, which is normal on the front, but it had some strong toe in on the back, which is not normal. A tiny bit's okay, so he had to adjust that out of it. This one seems to be more straight on, and actually, when you get it, check your toe out on the back. I got a little bit of toe out, in other words, on the back of the vehicle right here, right? The back tires, the toe goes a little bit out that way. You want it to have a tiny bit toe in or even be equal. Equal is okay, toe in a tiny bit is okay. And basically the way you want to judge it is if you could push down on the tires like this and the tires start curving in too much, then it needs some adjustment. You want it to kind of stay pretty much neutral or only a tiny bit of curve in, like a little bit of toe when the tires come down. If you're pushing down on the suspension and the toe in goes way in, then that means what will happen is the dynamics of the truck, when you land, the tires will go in and then the truck will hop and flip and do all sorts of crazy stuff on impact. It won't handle as well, won't be as fun. Even on small hits, it'll land, it'll compress, the tires go in, and the truck will just jump. So you got to make sure when you're pushing down on the truck, that it doesn't have too much toe, it shouldn't have any toe out. So this one has a little bit of toe out, so check that. And you just got to adjust the turnbuckles. And I would suggest doing it with one of these. We're going to school now, fellas. So most of y'all know this stuff already. One of these guys. These are super handy. These are micrometers or whatever the heck these things are called, but they can measure stuff up to a couple millimeters. And what you do is you kind of make sure that it's the same on both sides, turn it, check it, make sure it's the same on both sides, put the tires back on. It's a little bit of a process to make sure it's right, but use one of these. Because just counting the threads is only so accurate. You want to actually measure it. That's way more accurate than kind of just counting the threads and hoping that you're right. And that way you're the same left to right. That's super racer stuff. But when it comes to bashing, that is pretty relevant. That's one thing you don't want to ignore. You don't want to cheap out and just kind of guess. Will it really screw you up in bashing? Not so much if it's off. But at the end of the day, that's one thing I would suggest. Hold, please. Is to watch the toe out, at least on the MTX. Mine's got a tiny bit. I'm going to bring it back to neutral. The camber looks fine. Looks perfect on the front. I like almost no camber or a tiny bit of camber. That I don't like a lot of camber, maybe 1 degree. So if it's straight, it's monster truck. Let's rock and roll. But I had to take out some of the camber on my MTX2. Not my MTX2, my Hyper MT Plus 2. Gosh, these names. And then on the front, it actually needs, when you push down, it goes in a little bit toe. I would say the front looks good. Yeah, a little bit of toe in on the front is okay, a tiny bit, or neutral, because when you go down, it'll probably go in a little bit. But the suspension seems to be a little bit more set up. Other things I would kind of look at, you can do the diffs off the bat, but I would just bash it as it is. It comes with 500K in the center, and I have no idea what's in the front and the rear, but it is silicone. It's not grease. On the old one, it was grease, and that was, yeah, so I did all the diffs before I ever even bashed that truck. I put $1 million in the old one. I know I'm going to go up to 1 million or even 1.5 million. RC Guy Garage put an earplug and 50K in his, 3/4 of an earplug and 50K in his, and it seemed to be running really good. It maybe wheelied a little bit too easily, so I would probably say that was a little too much, my opinion, but it seemed to be running pretty aggressively and looked like fun. So definitely closer to an earplug, or at least what, because an earplug is closer to 20 million as opposed to 1 million. So I definitely think 1 million, maybe even 1.5, maybe even 2 million might be okay. It is a shorter wheelbase. I think 1 million should be kind of the sweet spot, but I'm going to try that out. But run it with the 500K should be fine. I wouldn't mess with the front and rear to start with, mostly because the center diff is the one that's going to be the most important, because you don't want to be bleeding too much power to the front. But it comes with 500. It's going to be too light. Just try it anyway. But it's going to be too light. You're going to want to do that. If you want to take that out and put in 1 million to start with, you can. I'm not. I'm going to bash it as it is. That way I give that stock kind of opinion in my view. What else do you want to look at? I put some foam right here on the back side of these little things. These little, you can look at it. I don't know if you can see that well, but I put some foam right here. What that does is, I hope it helps a little bit with, because you just kind of put it on here. I can't see anything right now there. With the back of the body and the front of the body, so it just doesn't get, it supports a little bit better. So I don't know. That's a thought. I think I stole that one from RC Guy Garage too, because he had the rig first and he mentioned that. But I did do something similar, so I stole that from him. What else to really worry about? Let me see. What else we got here? Oh, girl, get out. What the chat here? Who is in here posting spam in my chat? Hey, can I ban that person? I can't, because I'm not logged in under my stuff. That is trash. I think I can report it. Report. All right, okay, and then I'm also going to ban them. I think I can ban them. Block. All right, I blocked that person. Let me know if you see any kind of crap from that. What was that, Girls 18, whatever? That is such trash. Gosh, guys, come on. Oh, you reported it? Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. I'm going to stop shoe goo and add padding. I don't know what you mean by that. Let me I missed some messages here. Okay, go ahead, brother. I'll be running the XRT tomorrow. Nice. I hope, I want to run mine tomorrow. If it doesn't rain, I'm going to do the same thing. It's been raining for 2 days here. I can't stand running my stuff in wet conditions. It just is what it is. The rig just gets all nasty. And it doesn't rain here a ridiculous amount, so I can avoid those days. It's not a big deal. Just a lot more cleanup. You got to deal with potentially hitting a puddle and you get tires full of crap. Yeah. Thanks, Aldo. Yeah. I reported it. I took them off. I took them off my end. What are you talking about? Oh, okay, the girls person. How's the stock gearing? The stock, I think, comes with 15 tooth, which I think is a smart move. Because first of all, this is short wheelbase. The old one came with 16 tooth. And for how that rig ran a little hot. You could have even dropped down to a 15 or 14 tooth. I haven't. Actually, no, I think I dropped down to a 14 tooth on there. Haven't bashed it since I put that tooth on there. But yeah, I dropped down. I thought it was a little hot. I was running too hot, but also my fan on my ESC died. So that probably had something to do with the wires were getting hot. It was just running too warm. So I might end up going back up to 16 tooth because I got some pretty good fans for it now. But yeah, stock gearing, 15 tooth. It should be fine. Should be plenty for this truck for that. I think it's like I don't know what the KV is for the motor. Someone hop on there. I think it's a different KV than the original truck. I think Razor RC or one of those guys says it's a lower KV engine than the first one. I'm not sure. One of y'all could hop on the interwebs and find out for us and put a comment down below. Appreciate it. All right, brother. I got to step out. I'll catch up later. Later, Aldo. Appreciate you coming by, buddy. Who else we got on here? We got 8 people watching. Going to drop down to 7 here in a minute. Yeah, but stock gearing should be plenty good. I wouldn't mess with the gearing off the bat. It should be fine. A lot of times the stock gearing is at a place where it's not going to overheat the truck too much. If you're going to want to go faster with more gearing, you're going to have to add more powerful fans. Now, it's cool. This motor mount, this heat sink, is actually really nice, and it comes with a mount for the fan. So if you want to get a more powerful fan than the one that's included, more power to you. That's what I would do, because the motor would get hot, the ESC would get hot. You can see I already got a more powerful fan on there to start with. So I'm going to run that fan on there. I don't know how much clearance there is for bigger fans. I couldn't run those big 40 millimeter fans on the stock ESC because there wasn't enough space, and the fan literally butted up to the back of the truck. So with this one, actually I got plenty of space. So what's cool about this body, the way it sits up higher. So technically you could do one of those fans like this, one of these guys. I wired these up myself, so you can get a big powerful fan for that. So if you go up, you can get a big powerful fan for the ESC and for the size. These electronics are decent. They're nothing to write home about. I think they're good electronics. The one thing I'd like to see Habao add, because they are hobby wing electronics, but it's kind of a lower level. It doesn't have a BEC on there, and I think that's the one thing I'd like to see, is to add a BEC, because it has a great servo that goes up to 7.4 volts. So if you overvolt it, I think it's 32 kilograms when you do that. Problem is, this BEC is just 6.0. You can't bump it up. And so when you have big old tires like this, any ESC, I think, on any ready to run should at least go to 7.4. I like 8.4 or 8.2, whatever the next level up is. I like the firmer 160. I use that on a lot of my rigs, mostly because it has that 8.4, even if it is overkill, even on the 6S rigs, just because that BEC is built in. So I'd like to see Habao maybe with the next generation is to bump up and put a BEC on there, or at least have a ready to run ESC that has the ability to bump up the BEC, which is going to make your servo stronger. It's also going to make your fans run harder. Yeah, it'll hurt your battery a little bit, but gosh, take 2 minutes off my runtime, for much cooler and much cooler system and better steering. Yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. Okay, he said 2000 kV, I think. I think that was what was on the first one, if I'm not mistaken. I heard that this one has got a lower kV. I could be wrong. Just double check. But yeah, you might have already checked, so you're probably right. Okay, let me get back to what I was doing. Anything else I could recommend off the bat before you get going? No, stock gearing is good. I would just run it as it is. There's not a lot to change on this truck. Just adjust the toe in and toe out with the turnbuckles if there is any need for that. I don't know if every rig is consistent, but like I said, I have a little bit of toe out on the rear. So I'm going to adjust that just a tiny bit, because it should at least be parallel when the wheels are up, and they kind of go out that way, which they shouldn't. So that's about it, man. I'm gonna run this thing stock, even though I know 500K is not gonna be enough for me. I'm gonna want at least 1 million, maybe even a little bit more. I might do 1 million with a little bit of earplug, but I definitely don't want like straight earplug, because straight earplug is just gonna be a wheelie fest, which I love wheelies. I love riding wheelies, but I also want it to be a little bit more controllable. We'll see. Any other questions? But let me get back to shoe going. If you don't have any questions about the MTX. Got to get this body ready. Hopefully I'll be running this thing tomorrow. That is the plan, Stan. But I really like the Habao rigs. They are. Is that my phone ringing? Yeah, someone's calling me. Who's that? That's why the camera starts shaking like that. It's because someone's calling me. All right, give me half a second, guys. I'll go check on something. We'll be right back. Thank you. All right, I'm back. Who's all still here? We got 8 people watching. Yeah, yo. What's up? Appreciate y'all, RC famo. All right, got another question. What are you running in your Mojave? Oh, she's here? Pause on that answer. I got to help somebody who's dropping off food first real quick. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'll answer that Mojave question.
Just when you left the door. Is that Chinese food?
Deep fried pickles from Slim Chickens. I don't know if you've ever eaten that place. It's okay. But deep fried or fried pickles, they're a wonderful thing. Mmm. Glorious. That is wonderful. I mean, you're taking a vegetable like a pickle that's totally healthy and then deep frying it. Whatever. It's about the taste. It's great. All right. Next question. Who asked it? Kurt, what are you running out of Mojave? All right, so I got a Power Hobby 23 kg servo on there. I got a Rocket 1580 kV motor. I think it's got a 22. I think it's got a 22 tooth pinion on there. It's the bigger pinion that came with the Outcast. So whatever the speed pinion is on there, I think it's a 22. I don't think it's a 24. I think it's a 22 tooth pinion. So, and I have a firmer 160 on there with BC turned up to 8.4 or 8.2, whatever it is. So needless to say, that thing is a rocket. That thing just flies, guys. If you want a fast setup, I have that same exact setup on 2 of my rigs. It's my Mojave platform down here. It's the Outcast hybrid 1/6 scale. It's bigger than a 1/7 scale. This is basically about the same width as a standard Outcast, same length as a standard Outcast. Weighs about 10 pounds less. I got a video on there about that. I have that same setup there. 1580 kV rocket engine and firmer 160, but I just don't have the pinion, obviously, because the big tires. It's a smaller pinion on there. So for the Mojave, I have a higher pinion. So that thing is a smoker. If you watch some videos on my channel with the Mojave, I think every single one of them has that setup on there. So when you see me riding a wheelie for about 300 feet with a Mojave, that's why. That rocket engine is an absolute blast. Runs a little hot. I'd like to get some fans on there, but that's because I have a stupid high pinion on there. So I hope that helps, Kurt. That is what I'm running on Mojave. Everybody runs different stuff on the Mojave. You really have a lot of different options. You can go crazy. Some people do 8S, which I think is, personally, is complete overkill. I think Earl's trying to do 12S right now. But he's trying to do like land speed records with that thing, so it's a little bit different what he's trying to do. He ain't trying to bash with that, I don't think. 12S for bashing. I don't know if anybody does that. Back to the shoe goo. I want to 12S my DBXLE. Yeah, I think you said that to me, Brian, in the chat before. Yeah, but you're trying to go for speed on that, so I totally get it. Yeah. I have a Max 6 with 1650 kV and 19 tooth pin. I'm going to try. Yeah, Kurt, that should be spot on, about close to what I'm doing right now. 1650, 1580 is about the same. 19 tooth. You could even go up higher on that, but honestly, I would start with the 19 tooth. If I had a 19 tooth at the time, I probably would have ran that, because that's plenty. Yeah, what I have is a little stupid. I mean, the thing does backflips with ease and has so much air control, even with those smaller tires, which is crazy. Yeah, my Mojave is an absolute beast. It's actually kind of scary, which I kind of like. I like my rigs to be a little scary. Like on the border of insane. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right on the ragged edge. Obviously, the only thing you got to worry about once in a while when you're doing that is it getting a little too hot. And just bring a temp gun with you or some really good fans and just know what you're running. Cheers. Kurt, did you shoe glue the Mojave, or does that whole body hold up well? I'll answer that question by showing you. Gosh, Kurt, if you watch all my videos, you already know the answer to that, guy. No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, so here's the shoe glue job on the Mojave. So you can see I avoided the center roll cage. It wasn't really necessary there. I put some by the body post and the back and in the corners. These is like 2 layers. 2 layers up in the wheel wells and up in the front bumper and around the front upper wheel wells. There's 2 layers here, here, here. So in the 4 corners and a little bit in the back here, I did 2 layers. 1 layer every place else. I didn't take the Velcro off. I just left that. And it didn't put any there. So yeah, I definitely shoe glued that. And this body, you can see, it is not cracked anywhere. It's not dented anywhere. And this thing has taken some super high speed hits and topples. If you've watched some of the videos on my channel, I'm not gentle on this rig. With that speed, you know, that I run this rig, that body's held up well. I mean, unbreakable would be better. Is it necessary on the Mojave? I think if you shoe glue the heck out of it, maybe you don't need it. It's been good for me. Good question, though. All right, so I'm M2C'ing my Creighton as well. Your videos have helped me much. Man, that means a lot. Thank you. I've got the chassis brace, the RPM arms, the hinge pins, Vitavon, bulkheads, and gears, and proto motor mount. I don't know that motor mount. on a Max 6 1650 kV. And gosh, dude, that's the perfect setup, man. That's the setup you want to do on that track. 1650, 1580. Even a 1700 is fine. Vidabon bulkheads. Gosh, those things are expensive, man. You're a baller. I just do the HR ones. And in the back. If you had to choose, you probably got both, but at least get them for the back for those rear impacts. If you're going to get the bulkheads, I'm a big fan of those. I just do the HR ones because they're only about like $50, and you can just do the back side of it. That's it. Comes in 2 separate pieces. It's a little bit cheaper, and the HR ones have been fine for me. I'm not hating on Vidavon. The price is a little bit unnecessary sometimes. They make some nice stuff though. Yeah, what else do you need? Do you have the M2C tower support brace? That's the only thing I'd be thinking of. Got the chassis, the braces, the arms, hinge pins. Yeah, man, you got everything. You even got the right arms. I think the new EXB arms are fine, but I don't know about the new RPM arms. I haven't tried them. I think the newer HD ones that Arma puts out are plenty. I haven't had problems with those, but I've used on the older generations. I've used the RPM arms; those have been fine. I just don't know about the new ones. But yeah, do you have the tower support brace from M2C? That's the piece that taps into the tower, 2 pieces, then comes down into that middle link, and then the brace comes out from there. It's a little like $15 part, I think. Might be 30. I have no clue. So yeah, Kurt, Fatline, do you have the tower support brace? That'll be the one thing that if you don't have, you might already have. Oh yeah, you already have it? Okay, I see the comment there. Cool. So yeah, it should be good, buddy. That's exactly how I'd run it. Yeah, the only other thing is, what are you doing to protect your rear end? Because yeah, you got to have those bulkheads. But are you doing anything to protect for rear end landings, like a rear bumper or something like that? I really like those T-bones bumpers for the rear. I use those on almost all my rigs. But I think RPM now has this new solution that Aldo's tried out. It's like it ties right into the wing and goes down into the lower bulkhead, or the chassis. It's a rear skid, and then it also goes up into the wing. That's probably even better than anything out there. Wheelie bar, I don't have a bumper. Yeah, the wheelie bar helps. I used to do those in the beginning, but wheelie bar is nice, but it still connects just up into the wing, and it can still damage. What I would suggest for the rear impact to really protect the bulkhead is I would suggest either the RPM skid plate that goes up into the tower. It's a new piece that just came out for the 6S rigs. Again, I haven't tried it, but Aldo really likes them, and I trust his opinion on that. Or you can get a T-Bones rear bumper. That's what I have on pretty much all my rigs. For example, I'll show it to you. This is my Creighton M2CFI. You can see I got the wheelie bar, and I also got that T-Bones bumper in the back. So when I hit in the back, there's just a lot of things to protect that rear bulkhead from getting damaged. This does have an RPM rear bulkhead as well. So that just makes this thing a tank. Really, the only thing that could break on this is arms and like shock rod ends and shock standoffs. You know, it can take some bad landings for sure. But yeah, I would suggest one of those too, buddy. Just because I personally don't think a wheelie bar is enough to really protect the back end. It's nice to have it as opposed to not having it, but I would go with a T-Bones bumper in the back. They're only like $12. That's the cheapest option, or do the RPM one. That works as well. because the rear end landings, which we all do it sometimes, where we stuff it, over rotate, under rotate, however it happens, it happens. It's gonna happen, and that's what I would suggest. Go to tbonesracing.com or something like that. I don't know if they sell them all through eBay. I think I've seen some of their stuff on eBay. But I've always purchased, I think I've purchased pretty much everything that I've gotten from T-Bones directly from them. Their shipping's great. Their customer service is great. I'm a big fan of T-Bones. T-Bones and RPM, they make great stuff for our rigs. Just shoe gooing, guys. That's how we do it, baby. No, they're not. You're joking, right? Kurt, T-Bone is out of business? No. Can you please confirm that, Kurt? Are you kidding me? I know that recently a couple companies have gone under. I think because a lot of these companies are putting decent bumpers on their rigs now. You have like the EXB bumper coming on there for, there ain't no better bumper for the front end than those EXB bumpers for the the armor rigs. And that just killed RPM, killed T-Bone. So it wouldn't surprise me. Dang, no way, dude. There's no way T-Bones is out of business. You're kidding me, really? Dang, bro, that sucks. I guess the only option is RPM. So you have two options with RPM. You can get the front bumper and put it on the back, or you could do the RPM support that I mentioned. I would probably get the support that I mentioned. I don't think a rear bumper is as strong as something that ties into the tower and stiffens up the tower and ties into the underside of the bulkhead. So you get that piece. That is definitely a better solution. It's not cheaper. Kurt, why don't you, Kurt or Fatline, why don't you hop up and try to find that that part that I just mentioned, the RPM one, and let me know how much it costs. Put a comment down there. Yeah, they probably have it on eBay. Some people still selling their stuff. They probably bought a bunch of them when they're going under. Dang, that sucks. I hate to hear that, man. American company, good company, put out good stuff, but they mostly specialize in bumpers, and I think it really hurt them. I can only guess now that it really hurt them when Arma started putting proper bumpers on the front of their vehicles, not on the EXB trucks, and then people would just buy the EXB one. Not only that, M2C came out with the hinge pins that tie in with the M2 with the EXB bumpers. So that combination, there is nothing tougher. Let me show you what that looks like. Here's a little sneak preview, guys. This guy has not even been introduced on the channel yet, but maybe you can see it. It's the EXB bumper. This is my Typhon XL. This thing's a beast. I can't wait to run this thing. But you can see it has the M2C front bulkhead, and that ties right into that bumper. That's tough to compete with. I mean, there's no better system out there aftermarket. When Arma's putting out one that's better than the aftermarket, good luck. That's why M2C just decided to make their own that went with it. Because M2C realized, hey, this is the best bumper out there. People are going to be using it. Let's make our system work with it. And then now, that made everything that T-Bones made incompatible because it doesn't work with theirs. So that might have killed him right there. Not on purpose, but that's business. It happens. That sucks, though. Still sucks to hear it. I don't like to hear that companies go under. I might have my favorites and stuff like that, but any good old American company that's making RC parts, I'd like them to at least stay out there to be an option for people. What'd y'all think of that Typhon XL? That thing is gonna be a beast. I can't wait to get that thing out there. What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy TRC, what's up, man? Welcome to the party. Only got 3 watching now. Got Kurt, Jeremy, and Fatline. Y'all are chatting, so I'd rather have 3 people on there chatting than 20 people on there and just watching. So I appreciate y'all giving me some feedback, talking. And Kurt, let me know when you find that RPM part. I'd like to know how much they are. Because it looks like that's going to be the one I'm going to be going to in the future. Because, dang, that sucks about T-Bones. I did not know they went under. And I know they started making ramps at the end there. That might have been them just trying to be creative and stay competitive. Because they weren't making money on their bumpers anymore. Try to diversify. Man, that sucks. But that is the nature of things. RPM 81802 HD wing mount system for many ARMA 6X vehicles, $21.95. That's not bad, because I think the skid plate was like probably 10, maybe even more for just the little skid. I used to use these a lot, these RPM skids, but essentially for the 6S rigs, this is obsolete because now it's a skid and it comes all the way up into the tower and supports it from there. So it protects your tower, protects your rear end, and locks into the bottom of the bulkhead. So that's what I'll do for now on. I really don't even know what I'm going to do with this one because there's no need for it now. That is tragic about T-Bones, man. I mean, in the RC community, guys have been using T-Bone stuff forever. Just sucks. Don't like to hear that at all. I got to get some more M2C parts. Their motor mount works for the XTR. It does. I think, what's his name? I forget his name. I posted his video in the M2C testers chat. He put a 1100 kV motor in there, and the M2C motor mount. It just because I think it's pretty much if I'm not wrong. I think it's pretty much an X-Maxx chassis. That just the towers are different, and I think I think the bulkhead piece, the bulkhead part might be different because I think they toughened up the actual bulkheads on the inside, not the outer cup. The outer cup looks the same. I could be wrong, but I think it's the where the diff sits into it, that backside right there. I think they've toughened up that inner bulkhead. And the the X-Maxx chassis is 3 pieces. You got one here, and I think that's the same as the X-Maxx. I could be wrong. So actually the center brace for M2C might work right off the bat. That would be cool. They wouldn't have to change any of that. But yeah, the motor mount fits right in there from what I heard. I mean, I'd have to verify for sure. I haven't heard from the guy directly, but that's what he's using. And that's pretty cool. Less effort on aftermarket stuff to have to reinvent the wheel. And also that helps out the people that bought the X-Maxx because they don't have to wait to upgrade stuff if they want to. And if the parts are the same between the two different cars, the X-Maxx and the XRT, XTR, or whatever the heck. Because I have an XTR, so I get confused. XRT. Then that's just going to help. That's cool that it's the same, a lot of the same parts. I mean, I haven't heard the word, but there's probably like about a good 40% of the parts are the same. I'm just throwing a number out there. I have no clue. I'm just talking. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just bash. Appreciate y'all. Motor mount. Yeah. Exo cage. Did he use it too? It's the only one that clears the body. What about Exo cage is the only one? So the M2C one is the only one that clears the body? Is that what you're saying? No, I didn't. It was Habib or Hadid or gosh, I'm probably butchering his name. That's the guy that I saw that he put a 1100 kV in there already right off the bat and a Max 5. So it wasn't Exo cage. I have no idea what Exo cage has done. I haven't watched any of his videos on the XRT. I look more at the Thunder RC and Aldo, those guys. And Thomas is going to be getting one, of course. So from TP Parts Extreme, my boy, he'll be getting one. So I'll be watching what he has to say about it. Because I take what Thomas, if you guys haven't subbed to Thomas's channel, TP Parts Extreme, TP Parts RC Extreme, you need to sub him, dude. He's like the godfather of, a lot of things in the RC community. The guy's awesome. I think he lives over in Finland, or I don't know where the heck he lives. Someplace it gets really cold in the wintertime. But he has access to probably, besides Aldo Loyal, the best bashing spot I've ever seen. He's got this rock quarry that he bashes in. He's got 2 of them that he has access to. And I don't know of anybody in the U.S. that has access to places like that. The problem with trying to get access to like rock quarries and stuff like that, sand pits over here in the U.S., I've tried to get into a couple of them. And every one of them's like, dude, you got to be an employee and be on the insurance policy and yada, yada, yada. Just to hang out with my RC truck and shoot them up all over the place. Which I understand. I guess if I fall off a cliff, I could sue them. But, yeah. I can't seem to get into any of them here. And because he's in another country, they're cool like that. Good for him. That is pretty dang awesome. Yeah, so if you're not subbed to TP Parts RC Extreme, check his channel out. Just a super cool, humble guy. Just great in the community. Shares a lot of our videos because he's freaking awesome. And yeah, sub him up for sure. Oh, Kurt, you just subbed. Cool, man. All right, so I'm going to give a couple shout outs just because there's a lot of guys that I have a ton of respect for. And if you're not subbed to their channels, you might be missing out. All right, so this dude doesn't even RC anymore. Hopefully he'll come back and RC. But if you want to see the most extreme, this is not a knock on anybody, the most extreme X-Maxx freestyle bashing. Even Thomas P will tell you that this guy is the best in the country. This is not to knock anybody else that's gotten their hands on an X-Maxx. Happy Joy. My buddy, why am I forgetting his real name? I'm chatting with the guy, Ken Lau, I think. But search for Happy Joy. It's going to be hard to find his channel. Maybe try it 4 different words or one word all slammed together. But he'll be the only X-Maxx guy doing with it Happy Joy. That dude is insane. One of the he's like a freestyle basher along the lines of I'll recommend this guy, Stefan Z. You got it. I don't know how to spell Stefan. Figure it out. Stefan Z. Warner Sline is another name for him. He's in the Facebook forums under Warner Sline, but it's actually Stefan Z is his YouTube channel. Those 2 guys are probably the godfathers of freestyle RC. I'm going to give a shout out to Merrick, M-E-R-E-C or C-E-K or something like that. Merrick, dude's ridiculous. Along with little dude, little man, UK, what's his name? RC Kid UK, I think. That dude's sick. He should have won that jump competition. I don't care. I'm just going to say something. He should have won that jump competition because his stuff, I'm sorry, not to knock anybody else. I was in that jump competition that my buddy put on. But he should have won that. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, check his channels out. Those dudes are silly. Y'all are subbed up to pretty much everybody else that I probably am too. Obviously, like Thunder RC, Rich and Eric, Bars and Tone. Y'all know these guys. Aldo Loyal. If you've never subbed up to him, he's got probably the best bashing spot in his backyard. Every RC guy wishes that they had a spot like that. Aldo Loyal. ALDO-LOYAL. Just hit that sub. Okay, just subbed up. I've got the XRT, but weather was bad and been busy. Want to run it this week. Yeah, I don't blame you, bro. That's like having a freaking amazing truck just sitting there. That sucks, man. I'm the same thing with the XRT. I want to be running this thing. Not the XRT, the MTX. Wow. All those abbreviations. Where did you get the roof slides? Which one? Are you talking about these roof slides? If you're talking about these are RPM ones that I think are supposed to be for the X-Maxx, and they were too long, so I had to just cut them off a little bit, and they mount underneath as well. So these are really nice roof slides. They are not coming off because they go right through the body. So you'd have to literally pry them off. But if you're talking about that one, I should get some of those for this, but that body would be even shorter. So I'm going to have to come up with something else. I'd literally have to, because there's 3 mounting points, I'd have to just use the first 2 and then it should work. So yeah, I could do that, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to rock the body as it is. As it stands, I'm going to shoe glue this body and I'm going to use it. But to be honest with you, this body I think is a little too undersized for the truck. It just looks a little too small on there. So I'll probably be looking to put something else on here in the near future with the MTX. But yeah, I'm just going to run this thing stock with the stock body. That blue I love this blue. This blue. I'm a sucker for that blue. Yeah, Aldo is an absolute beast. That dude, I don't know of too many dudes besides him and Thomas that can just hit after hit after hit. Yeah, he does miss his landings every once in a while, but that dude, you can see his clips, dude. He'll go for a couple minutes and just be landing hit after hit. He's got some skills, and I appreciate him. He's a good friend of mine. Aldo is a beast. And like I said, if you ain't subbed up, you need to sub up. I hate this part of the glue stick where you get to and it's running out and you got to start a new one. Yeah, I got to start a new one. This thing doesn't have any bite to it. And I'm going to go with the long one. The long glue stick. I just got to make a little bit of a mess real quick. Because you got to kind of prime the pump, you know what I mean? Toilet paper comes in handy, cleaning up messes. All right, let's get this one going. There we go. There we go. Now it's grabbing onto the new one. This one will last me probably forever. Any questions, guys? What's up, y'all? We got 4 watching now. Who just jumped on? Oh, Night Cooler? Oh, you asked that question. I didn't realize you're a different guy. Nicole RC 50. These names I got. Nicole RC 50. Well, welcome to the party. Hope you're subbed up to Three Sons RC, because if you're not, just get it. No, I'm kidding. You can hang out. It's all good. You don't have to sub to hang out, but I definitely don't mind it. But we are shugoing. And some have called me the king of shugu. I don't know how I got that name. It's probably because I had the best shugu video on the internet. Self-proclaimed, of course. But it is the best video. It is the best. Only because I try to make it shorter and share with y'all my tips. Any other questions, guys? Oh, we only got 4 watching now. Uh-oh. I think Nicole dropped out. She got the answer to her question. She's like, peace out. It's okay. I'm not hurt. I'm just hanging out. But at least say bye before you leave. Gosh, you hurt my feelings. All right, got another question out here. I got some aluminum tow rods for my XRT on my X-Maxx. Not sure if you want to put them on either one. Aluminum tow rods? I don't know exactly what you're saying there, bud. Tie rods? Tow rods? For my XRT or my X-Maxx. Are they the same length? Because if they're aluminum, I guess they're adjustable, so you can use either one. You're talking about using those from the X-Maxx and putting them on the XRT? I don't know. I don't know exactly what you're saying there, buddy. I'm a little lost, but I get lost easy. I get confused easy. I'm almost done prepping this body, and then I'm going to shugu it. How much have we been on for? 2 hours. Holy crap, 2 hours. And I've only done this. It's because I've talked a whole lot more than I've done this, and I've left the camera more than I've done this. So I know nobody's going to watch this on the replay. Nobody. If y'all watch it now, If you're watching this thing on the replay, you must like to be punished with boredom. I apologize. But we're just hanging out and answering questions more than anything. I have the wide kit on my X-Maxx, so the parts are the same. Oh, okay, I got you. I got some aluminum tie rods for the XRT. I thought you said MTX, my bad. Or my X-Maxx, not sure if I want to put them on either one. You know, I'll be honest with you, I think the plastic ones are fine. Those tie rods, the steering rods in the front, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, the plastic ones have been fine for me. They're super dirt cheap off of Jenny's, and that's what I use. I mean, yeah, more power to you if you want to go ahead and put metal ones on there. But unless metal's better, I don't mess with it. Unless I'm breaking it all the time, you want to have as much flex zones as possible. And the problem with, if you put metal, this is my opinion, if you put metal in here, then that metal is going to, it could be a breaking point where it just sends the shock into the steering link, and that will bust. I'd rather break a tie rod. I'd rather break that steering tie rod than to transfer that that shock into the steering, because that steering is harder to fix. Not more expensive. Neither one of them are that more expensive, but I go based upon how hard is it to fix it. For example, I want to protect the bulkhead, so I'm going to have impact zones and as much plastic around those bulkheads to absorb that shock as I can. If you put metal around that, then it just transfers it right into the bulkhead. Same thing with the Traxxas. So I would stick with the plastic ones, to be honest with you. I've broken one, maybe two, but that's a replaceable part. I just have them in stock. I have them in my drawer there, and I just replace them when they break. That's my 2 cents. I would stick with the plastic ones, bud. Yeah. Yeah. See, we're thinking the same there, Brian. Metal for metal's sake. This is not to knock anybody, but you know, there's companies that they make a living doing just metal parts, and they just make metal for no reason. Metal should serve a purpose. My 2 cents. If you're gonna make something metal, either it's something that already was metal, or it's something that should have been metal. But if you're taking away flex zones, you gotta be careful. I call them flex zones. Y'all might have a different name for them, but I don't know what y'all call them. Flex zones. Areas where the car gives, absorbs shock when you land bad. If you don't have those zones and it's all metal, then you got yourself a raminator. You know, you can send it. That thing's all metal, buddy. Thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds, so that's why it's all metal. But you ever seen anybody send a raminator? They don't send it very big. You know? They'll send them 20, 30 feet, and they're all busted. I think some of the biggest sends I've seen is Thunder RC sending that raminator. I don't know how many feet he sent it, but it looked pretty dang big. And then he eventually busted it. It's going to happen. Everybody I see sending a raminator, it's going to break. It's all metal. But you can't make something that big and have it be plastic. There's no plastic thick enough. I mean, I guess you could do super thick plastic. Nobody's ever tried to do like a raminator plastic. That would be crazy. The plastic would have to be that thick. I don't even know how you manufacture that. Plastic, metal, that old argument. I think you got to use metal where it makes sense to make something metal, not just because you can. I've seen companies literally take an X-Maxx and make the whole entire chassis in metal. Thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Just because you have a CNC machine that can reproduce anything in metal doesn't mean you should. Should be adding some type of innovation to it, making it better, not just metal. It's gotta be doing something, serving a purpose. My 2 cents. Like all bit of on X-Maxx. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I wasn't looking at that breaking point. I would look like Power Wheels. Yeah. What's up, Gans? What's going on, buddy? Hi. Haven't seen you in a little bit, bud. I think I got it pretty much done. Let me get a little bit better up in the front here. And then I'm going to... Hey, what do you guys think? I'm pretty sure that... You know, because they don't have shoe glue every place now. You see this E6000. I'm convinced. I could be wrong. y'all might want to do the research. I think this is Shoe Goo. I think this is the same exact thing. It's just in a different place. Because, for example, they have it in two different, like, you'll have Shoe Goo at Home Depot, and then you have this stuff at Lowe's. I think it's literally just the same product, but for different markets. They market this for, like, the home builders, and the Shoe Goo for the shoe repair people. We know that Shoe Goo works great. The reason why I think it's the same exact thing, because I think ExoCage did a video where he compared the strength of all the different products, and the two that came up on top was the E6000 and the Shoe Goo, and the tests were almost identical. And I've used Shoe Goo on everything, all my bodies, and they didn't have Shoe Goo. I can't find it in the big tubes anywhere except for at Hobby Lobby. They don't have Shoe Goo. They have this stuff. So I tried it out. I'm not trying to say I know for sure, but it feels exactly the same and it smells exactly the same. But maybe that's not it. I don't know. I could be crazy, but I think this is Shoe Goo. They just repackage it. The packaging looks identical as well. So correct me if I'm wrong. What do y'all think? I think E6000 is Shoe Goo. Conspiracy theory. You need to check that out. Aliens do exist. Yeah, it is very close. Yeah, you watched the same video I did, Kurt. That was a great video. Actually, I watched that video when I'm sitting in freaking Hobby Lobby before I bought this stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to waste my money. Gosh, it's only $5. I'm such a cheapskate. But I literally watched this video and I was sold. I'm like, it's close enough. It's close enough to the same stuff. It's going to do what I need it to do. And I used it on another body, and it seems to perform exactly the same. What's up, buddy? You need me? Okay. Oh, wifey needs me. Pause, please. Be right back. All right, guys, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm going to be hopping off in a second. I want to answer any kind of quick question before I go. X-Maxx to the tester are so close to each other. $5, that's too much for me. I'm out out. Okay, so Kurt, you bounced, or you said be right back, but I'm probably going to be gone before you get back. Gotta go, everyone. Have a good evening. Later, Brian. See you, buddy. Hey, I'm counting off too. I got to take care of the wife. But so basically, if you're watching this in a replay, basically I did the whole body with one solid layer of the tape with the glue gun to kind of get it in position. And then what I do is I grab it and I take it with my thumb. Actually, no, I use my pointer finger and I squirt it and I just run it down the panels. I just fill it and run it down, and I work from one end to the next. Putting it in a nice thick layer. And then I'll go back and do another layer in the front, in the corners, and in the bumper. I'll do a second layer. That has worked really well for me, just to have an overall dampening. This body for the MTX is very thin. It's like a 1/10 scale body. This body right here is much thicker. The Lexan is much thicker. And I've also shoe glue and drywalled this already, but the actual Lexan's a lot thicker. So this thing is going to be like super weak and fall apart if I don't put something on here. I do like the style of this. This is F-150 style, which is cool. I do like the Ram style of this. Gosh, these two trucks though, these are nice looking trucks, but I think this body's a little undersized. I'm probably going to switch out to something later. But yeah, I want to try this out for a bit. I'm going to bash this thing. And I need it to be looking good for a little bit and not fall apart. And every body I've shoe glued like this, none of them have fallen apart. I am still able to use every single one of them today. Yeah, and that's quite a few bashes on each one. But yeah, do one layer and then double up the layers in the corners. You could do 3 or 4 layers if you want to go nuts. If you do 4 layers, like 2 layers through the whole thing and then 4 layers in the corners and the tough spots, it will be about 90% as strong as an unbreakable body. That takes a long time though. But the second and the third layers, they go way faster. It sticks a lot easier and you can bang them out really quick. The first layer is the hardest because it doesn't stick to the body very well without the glue gun. After the first layer, it sticks right to itself. So you can just lay it down and do that layers really quick. I hope that helps. I don't know if anybody else is still watching or even watching this on a replay, but I do this for y'all. I just hopped on really to say hi to y'all, talk about the XRT a little bit, and I'll probably put a comment down there if you want to see more of this. Lives whenever I hop on. I'll probably hop on a couple times this week just to kind of share some stuff. It is raining too much. Hey, appreciate y'all. 3 Sons RC. Hit that sub. Peace out, baby. Yeah. Any questions? Oh yeah. Have a good night. I'm here. Kurt's back. What's up, Kurt? All right, buddy. You have a good night. Appreciate y'all. Show you guys around the shop. There's the shop. There's the RCs, projects, and the mess. There's my tire collection. I'm a hoarder of tires and batteries. I got a lot of them. Hey, whatever. All right, appreciate you guys. Peace out.